Stuart Isaac. I know y'all tired, but bear with us. We'll make this fun, painless, and free. And this is my partner.
My name is Miss Shamika Ebony. I'm with Sunday Stacks, and we're excited to be a part of what you all are doing. I'm pretty sure it's been very action-packed with a lot of information. And we're going to get to the fun part in being with us. Anybody ready for the fun part? Yeah. All right, awesome.
So basically, we're here with a program called I Am Brilliant. And what we're doing is we've traveled across the country. We've been featured on the Today Show. We've gone to different organizations and different community programs to connect with young people like yourself to get one fundamental question: what makes you brilliant? And for me, my background, I am an entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was 13 years old. How old is the average in here? About 17?
17.
Okay. Have any of y'all ever considered starting a business before?
Yeah.
Okay. So with me, I started early in business and entrepreneurship. I was a kid originally from Brooklyn, New York. I moved to North Carolina to transition, and ultimately, I used to be a troublemaker. But ultimately, I laugh because exactly 20 years ago in my life, the number one fundamental thing that was bothering me was I couldn't read. So at the age of 12, I had an issue in reading. But once I decided to overcome it, it was based on this fundamental principle. I had to figure out what was special about me, what made me different, and what could I use to leverage. And from there, I realized I was great at designing. I used to draw a lot. My mother had a fashion background. So I started to write in business. My grandma said it takes 5 years to be an entrepreneur. And so I jumped right into it. By the time I was 16 years old, I was featured in Black Enterprise magazine. And I've been an entrepreneur and fearless ever since. My partner here, Shamika, will tell you a little about herself.
Well, my name is Shamika. I'm here from North Carolina, born and raised, actually from Kinston. So I know Duke has some good connections with Kinston right now with our new Duke student that is now going to be playing for Los Angeles Lakers. Go Duke. My passion is in community engagement. I've been in nonprofit work for probably about as old as you all are. Interestingly enough, I know I don't look it. But I'm really excited about helping people. I believe that God gave me a call to be the voice of the voiceless, and I take that very seriously in the work that I do. In my community engagement, I found that there's a lot of communities that are suffering, and they have intelligent, brilliant people like yourselves in those communities. And if we can illuminate what makes you special, a lot of times brilliance is connected to what we identify as scholastic ability. But the actual definition of brilliant is the illumination, the light, the what makes you passionate? What do you love to do? What are the things that you do that nobody else can do? Or what are the things you could do without even thinking about it? Those are the things that make you brilliant. And what I believe as a community scientist is that if you can connect those things that make you brilliant with what your community needs, what your family needs, what your future career could be, then you can make the difference. Everyone came here to this program with the expectation that you could change the world, right? Right. So you already have brilliant ideas. And what we like to do is bring this message to illuminate what you can tangibly do with your skill set, your scholastic ability, your creative gifts, and be able to put them together to be able to become the greatest citizen that you are in your community by applying those gifts in the different capacities that you all see fit.
Who's willing to volunteer if we asked you what makes you brilliant? Raise your hand. Okay, we'll start with you, young lady. What's your name?
I'm Cindy Benjamin.
Yes.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay. What makes you brilliant?
What makes me brilliant is my perseverance and my creativity in problem solving.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm Javier Perez from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I believe that what makes me brilliant is my perspective on life and how I view it.
Awesome. My company is called Mosaic, but we've launched several brands since then. I have a brand called Hip Hop Wall Street, which we talk to young people across the country, teaching them about business and entrepreneurship from more of the hippity hop, as my parents would say, trend, and take that energy and use the culture, use the styles and stuff. You guys, your generation is amazing, first and foremost. You have more access to information like no one else has ever had in birth. And you all actually, do you not feel sometimes smarter than your parents? Yeah. Go ahead and be honest, right? But at the same time, when I was young, the internet was just starting. 1996, 1998 is when I launched my company. Now, all these years later, I'm almost 20 years into this. And I've worked with every major superstar from Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West. I've worked with different fashion leaders, Tommy Hilfiger. I've worked on Project Runway. I've done a million things to continue to pursue. And it was me, like you all, taking advantage of every opportunity. Now I have an opportunity to build a brand called Board Nation. And Board Nation is a digital platform that we're building up in this new era. And we're what we call the third wave, which is what you guys, millennials, are going to create, the third wave of businesses. Don't let, just because it's hard, be the reason that sets you back. I tell people starting a business is like being a farmer, okay? So remember this now. Listen, if I never tell you anything, starting a business is like being a farmer. And the main thing you have to realize is when you put a crop in the ground, when you put a seed in the ground, does it grow overnight? It takes time. So right now with I Am Brilliant and what we're trying to do for you all and telling you our stories, we're trying to plant a seed in your mind that's going to grow. 90 days, it'll grow to something. The next 90 days, it'll get bigger. The next 90 days, it'll get bigger. Another 90 days, you're in a whole year, and you have a tree. And this is what we call knowledge, right? They say that the world started from the tree of knowledge. So you all have to realize that tree, too, started from a seed. And I Am Brilliant is just a seed to open you up.
We've used the social media platform to market what we're doing. We have Instagram through M. Stewart Isaacs that showcases our going across the country since November. We also have a Facebook page where we keep the information, so it's facebook.com/Sunday Stacks. And we also are doing Kickstarter campaign through GoFundMe, which is iambrilliant.org. Because ultimately this movement will turn into an institute that will train other community organizers, social entrepreneurs to really continue this message long after what we're doing today.
To those people who found great success, someone asked them, what is special about you? And they cultivated that. And that's all we're saying. You get all these different skills from school, reading, writing, and arithmetic. But it's that gift that you were born with, that your name represents, that who you are. Anyone in here know what their name means? Look into that as well, too. The more you know yourself, the more powerful you'll be. And the more you can identify with that, the more self-confidence you'll show. And confidence is everything. And that'll change that. So
your homework assignment, how cool is that? Is when you have this conversation about asking someone what makes them brilliant, don't allow them to stop the conversation with saying, I don't know or I'm not. Help them dig. It just takes a little bit for you all to help be the seed sowers and the cultivators in helping someone find what that gift is. So this time, we would love if all of you could come down and we take a large group photo, and then as time permits, we'll do some individual shots for those that would like this to be a part of your own personal social media.
Come join the people's campaign.